welcome to my cooking show. No. Welcome to Yeah, I'd Hang Out with Her. A good thing post, but a video, a cooking video. My coworker Sita covered my shift for me. And in return, or I should say for exchange for her time, she requested some cookies. So I'm going to make my very favorite cookies, which are Alison Roman's chocolate chip shortbread from the Dining In cookbook. First things first, let's put up our hair so we don't shed the last 3 hairs we have into Sita's cookies. Okay, I'm just gonna hope that we don't have any bald spots. And gather our ingredients. Okay, I have my handy dandy KitchenAid here. This is my precious little mini KitchenAid. It's the smallest KitchenAid that exists, but we love her. Thank you, Ellen. I will tell you this much. Always read your recipe from start to finish before you start any baking or really any recipe. Usually they're going to tell you something like line a baking sheet with parchment paper or preheat the oven. Preheating the oven is something that is often forgotten. With this recipe, you do not have to preheat your oven yet because you do need to chill the dough for about at least 2 hours. I did take my butter out of the refrigerator a few hours ago, so it's nice and soft. It'll beat up a lot easier that way. If you forgot to take your butter out of the oven, just like cut it into really tiny pieces and let it sit on the counter for 10 minutes and it'll be... Am I blocking my mic? Just like cut it into small pieces and set it on the counter for 10 minutes and you'll be good to go. All right, first thing we're gonna do, just chop up our block of chocolate. So I'm looking for pieces between like this size and, you know, like that size. By the way, I did wash my hands after putting my hair up. I just want you to know. So that's nice and kind of chunked out. So we're just going to put that aside for now. All right, next thing's next is this thing called creaming the butter. So what we're going to do, let's move our baby KitchenAid over here. And I will show you as I go. So what we're gonna do is put in our butter. And like I mentioned, this is warmed, well, not warmed. This is room temperature butter. So it's 2 sticks and 1/4. Just a little bit of butter. I like to chop it into kind of smaller pieces. So let's just grab a knife. All right, so we'll just put that butter in chunks. This is salted butter. Rarely does a recipe call for salted butter, but God bless Alison Roman, she's going to use it. This is more of like a not too sweet, bordering on the edge of a savory cookie, which is another thing that I love about it. And as far as baking technique, this is unsalted butter, but it's what I have in the fridge, so it's what we're using. And we're just going to estimate like 1/4 of a stick of butter. Looks about like that. A little more, a little less. We're going to be fine, folks. All right, we're going to let that sit in the bowl for a second. Move all this to the side. And we are going to cream that with 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And again, this is where my crude measuring skills come in. 1/2 cup. Okay. And 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. Again, do you see how easy baking can be? It can just be fun. Just feel your feelings. Do your thing. Half of a half is a quarter. So I eyeballed it and it went in. Let's do this. That's going to be a teaspoon of vanilla. So let me find my teaspoon measure. There she is. Teaspoon going in. All right. Oh. Why is that not working? Okay. Oh. Let me just start that over.
Let me just take it back.
Start it on kind of low so that they can start to incorporate together. And then increasing your speed. We're just going to let that go for, honestly, probably about 5 minutes. All right, I'm going to stop it just to do a quick scrape down. So I'm going to scrape the sides of the bowl down. This is going to get lighter and fluffier. You're going to think right now, oh, it's all mixed together. It's ready. She's not. Let her go. Okay, that will do. So you can see, scrape some of this off. And on mine, I really have to make sure to scrape the bottom. But you can see how this is now like a lighter, almost icing consistency. And that is ready to continue its life journey on the way to a cookie. All right, scraping the sides down again. Now what we're going to do is add in the flour. All right, we are slowly adding in 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. So turn this on to a low speed. Again, I'm lazy and just using my 1/2 cup measure, which is sort of good. So we can sort of slowly pour this in. So you're going to add your flour slowly, letting each bit incorporate as you dump it in. This, yes, can be quite messy. All right, let that go for a second. I'm gonna, again, open my bowl, scrape all this flour into it, and I'm going to give my bottom of my bowl a really good scrape. Just get everything that's been mixed into the sides of the bowl reincorporated into the cookie dough. All right, let that mix a little bit longer. And now we're going to add in our chocolate. And again, slowly but surely, lock your thing and just add your chocolate chunks in. You can make a mess, everybody's fine. This is a little bit more chocolate than the recipe calls for, but what is wrong with that? Nothing. Get all of those little scrapings in there, because why not? Yum. And give those sides another scrape down. Okay, plastic wrap. Hate it. It's horrible, but here we are. Here's what we need. 1 thing of plastic wrap, folks. Lay that down on your counter. Again, make sure that your hands are clean. Mine are. I just did that in my cleanup. Now, you are going to want to get your hands into this, so make sure your rings are off. and again, that your hands are clean. Kind of form your cookie dough into a ball. She's very buttery, so she feels sort of melty. All right, we got a ball. We're going to split it into two. Okay. That looks about right. And then kind of as if it's Play-Doh, just just mold it into sort of a log-ish shape. That'll work. And now this is what you have your plastic wrap for. Makes it a little bit easier to form. You'll roll it into the plastic wrap, and then we're going to roll it into a log to sort of whatever size you want your cookies to be. So I'm going to roll this out a little bit thinner. I like them to be, honestly, the last few times I've made them huge and wish they were smaller because they are quite rich. It's chocolate chip shortbread. So I'm just going to keep rolling this. Now, also keep in mind, it does warm up a lot because it is all butter. But don't worry, that's why we're going to chill it. All right, so we'll keep this little log around this size. Please forgive the chocolate under my fingernails. Ew. Okay, so now you can see I've got my 2 cookie dough logs ready to go into the freezer. They will chill for 2 hours there. And then we will take them out. We will brush them with egg and roll them in Demerara sugar and then bake them. See you in a couple hours. Okay, let's get our cookies out of the freezer. Okay, this log first. Nice and frozen and hard. One other thing while I'm opening this, make sure you have lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. So now we're going to take our pastry brush and brush all over the outside of the cookie dough. You want to get it pretty liberally kind of coated. Okay, and now what you'll do is dredge that through the sugar on the plate. You can clean it up.
Might need to add a little more egg on this little seam. Ew, don't look at that, gross. Alright, so see how that's really locked and loaded there? Alright,
This is where it can get rather challenging because it is very cold, but don't fret or freak out. If they crack while you're cutting them, they bake back together, and it doesn't affect the taste, obviously. I'm using a serrated knife because it's gonna cut a little easier, but use whatever knife you have that's a bigger, like a chef's knife. Cut them in 2 slices. Okay, see, you might want to freak out, but don't. You're just gonna put it on your baking pan like this and like smush it together. It's fine, who cares, it's cookies. Bring our baking sheet over here. All right, put them on here. Okay, diameter, I would say, what is this? Maybe like 1/4 inch. There's also large chunks of chocolate in here, so that also makes it a little difficult to cut. See my size and thickness? I don't know if that's right for you to see, but you don't need to worry about these cookies spreading too much on the pan either, so you can place them relatively close together without worrying about ending up with one giant sheet of cookie dough. I'm gonna cut up the rest of these and then we will put them in the oven. Last but not least, one of the most important little parts to this cookie is the sprinkling of the flaky sea salt. Grab your salt, and you're just gonna do a little sprinkle on each cookie. Okay, they bake for 12 to 15 minutes. Yum. Okay. So here they are. Our beautiful girls. You can see how they really don't spread a lot. I'm gonna let them cool on the pan for about 5 minutes and then transfer them to a cooling rack. Okay, because these are Sita's cookies, I'm going to try the ugliest one. Because I have to know what I'm giving to my friend. Hot, very hot. It's so good. So I hope that you enjoyed this first cooking video from Yeah, I'd Hang Out With Her. I do plan to do more of these. I learn a lot every time I do anything. But they're probably always gonna be this stupid and chaotic. Thanks for sticking around. Have an awesome week, and I'll see you next time. Also, Alison Roman, I love you so much.